Hello, I'm registered psychotherapist practicing in Ontario, and we were discussing about anxiety and how you can help yourself to decrease anxiety and what causes anxiety. And today we are going to discuss about intrusive thoughts, rumination, and breaking the what if loop, and how this might increase anxiety levels and what you can do in order to help yourself. I want to mention that this content is for psychoeducation and it doesn't diagnose or doesn't replace treatment. It just provides some examples of evidence based strategies that are used to decrease thoughts and rumination causing anxiety. And today we are going to discuss about three major factors that most strongly increase anxiety. It's intrusive thoughts, rumination, and reassurance seeking, and the what if loop, and how you can help yourself to decrease anxiety that is caused by these three factors. When your body sends an alarm and your mind interprets it catastrophically, the nervous system escalates, and avoidance and safety behavior make it chronic. So each time when you notice some signs of panic attacks or anxiety, and if you decide to avoid not to feel these feelings and you are distracting yourself, you are postponing or avoiding or doing certain things that make you to feel relaxed, then your mind automatically interprets it as if there is a situation that you might need to feel scared of, and therefore anxiety might be increasing. And today we will also discuss about how to stop fighting thoughts and change our response to them. Because what maintains anxiety is often not the thought itself, but your reaction to the thought. So the goal is not to delete thoughts completely, but to stop thoughts from running your life, from impacting your life. Because it's not really possible to stop thoughts. Every human being who is alive has automatic thoughts, and the only ones who don't have thoughts are the dead or the people who are in comas. Therefore, having thoughts, having automatic thoughts is a common feature of being human. And these thoughts are visiting us because of experiences we had, feelings we had in the past, and the way we were raised off. Uh, Therefore, it's not possible to delete the thoughts, but we can learn how to respond to them differently so that they will not impact our life negatively considerably. And it's also important to know what kind of change you want to see. For instance, if your anxiety decreased and if you learned how to decrease anxiety levels and how to respond to these thoughts differently, what change you would like to see? Why is it important for you? If you were not anxious, how you would like to feel and what difference would it make in your life? Some people would say that it would make easier for people around them who are caring about them, that they would feel in peace or they would feel more self-confident. They would include other things that might bring meaning into their life, or they would be more active, productive, more present in their relationships or in their work. Therefore, understanding why is it important for you and what you want to achieve can help you to become more motivated towards treatment and taking steps. And it also can help you to bear certain degrees of anxiety, because it's not easy when you are being exposed to situations that make you to feel scared. Therefore, understanding yourself and understanding what kind of change you want to see is important during the treatment. So, what are intrusive thoughts and why do they feel so real? Intrusive thought is an unwanted, distressing thought that pops up against your will, sometimes even feeling not like you, and triggers fear, guilt, shame, or anxiety. For instance, maybe you have some thoughts such as, what if I lose control? What if something happens to my child? What if something goes wrong? What if my heart stops? What if I faint and embarrass myself? Having these thoughts doesn't mean you want them, and this doesn't mean that you are weak. They are automatic, and it's not really possible to stop them, but you can learn to change relationship, how to relate to them, because your brain is a threat scanner, and in anxiety the scanner becomes hypersensitive. It tracks anything that could be a risk and brings it back to you. And there is a paradox: once the mind labels a thought as dangerous, it checks it more. So the more you try to suppress your thoughts, the more they return back. And each time when you are trying to avoid the thought, your mind automatically accepts it as if there is a danger and you need to be more cautious, and you start to scan for threats and to think more and more. And this is called rumination. So the brain's logic becomes, this must be important, look how much I'm struggling with it, and the cycle grows. So there are three factors that fuel anxiety, including rumination, reassurance, avoidance, and these three keep intrusive thoughts alive. Uh, Rumination is replaying the same question. For instance, you might have some thoughts such as, "Why am I thinking this? What if it's true? Maybe there is something wrong." And rumination looks like problem solving, but it's mental avoidance and a control attempt. So this is the secondary reaction. Like the first rea- mm, the first event was an automatic thought, which is not possible to delete. But this time you are responding to a thought with a thought, and you are continuing to think, and this causes even more anxiety. The second factor that can increase anxiety is reassurance seeking. For instance, asking doctors repeatedly, going and making checks even if the doctor said that there is nothing wrong with you, seeking constant reassurance from loved ones, Googling, checking pulse, blood pressure, constantly researching about your health. So, in a short term, this helps you to feel relieved, relaxed. However, in a long run, this again increases anxiety, because each time when you do this, you are actually reacting to the thoughts that what if something wrong with me? What if I'm seriously ill? And since you are not accepting it as an automatic thought, but you start to see your thought as if it's reality, and you are trying to prove yourself and to control the environment. And each time when you are doing this, again, your mind interprets the first thought as if it's reality, or that it might be close to reality, and as if it's something dangerous. And over time, you stop realizing that this was just a thought, and it becomes like reality. And you are the one who is suffering and constantly repeating over and over again the behavior that is not serving you, and in the long run it makes it difficult for you to work, to study, to stay present, and to do what you enjoy. The third one is avoidance. It can include avoiding triggers, crowds, traveling, malls, news. And avoidance prevents the brain from learning, because each time when you are avoiding, you are missing the opportunity to help yourself to learn that there is nothing wrong with this situation, or there is nothing to feel anxious. For instance, imagine if you've been avoiding news for a very long time. Most probably, your brain would again interpret it as if there is something dangerous, and it will be extremely difficult for you to visit the news pages and to read the news. But when you are exposing yourself to these situations that make you feel scared, if they are really not dangerous in reality, for instance, reading news is not dangerous. It just can make you feel sad. You might have uncomfortable feelings. And when you are exposing yourself to news, actually, your brain will slowly learn that this is just a thought, these are just feelings, and life continues, and there is nothing to feel so scared about. So, the main point that would help you to react to thoughts and rumination differently is becoming aware that these are just thoughts, and reacting to them as as thoughts, not as reality or 100% truth. And the key concept here is being able to separate yourself from the thought and to create a distance between yourself and the thought, and being able to see the thought as a mental event, mental content, not as reality. For instance, what if I faint? This is a thought, but it's not a prediction and it's a possibility statement. So if you go and research how many people are fainting, the ones who are experiencing panic attacks, you would find out that very few percentage. And it's like when you are experiencing panic attack symptoms, if you are able to embrace them with calmness and to stay calm, and if you are having a better secondary reaction, it's very less likely that you are going to faint. However, when you panic and when you see the first automatic thoughts as reality, that or that it's very close to reality, then you start to panic, your anxiety increases, and this causes even more panic, and then you are suffering even more. So what you can do in order to decrease influence of anxiety or of these secondary thoughts, the first automatic thoughts. One of the ways to do it is by naming your feelings and thoughts. For instance, you can tell yourself, I'm having the thought that I might faint. You might say, I'm having the feeling that something might go wrong.